Today's show.
Good afternoon and welcome to Dreamcatcher Radio. Today we're going to talk about the open case, in which I'm going to tell you about some certain stories in family law, which are true stories, and also I'm going to be explaining a bit about strategy. So let's just get us going with a song, which is not about strategy, but I thought let's just get going. And it's an old one. It's the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah, you are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way, but we are two worlds apart. Can't reach to your heart when you say that I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heart. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see that we've fallen apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah, no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. You are. Don't wanna hear you say nothing. Ain't nothing but a mistake. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't want it that way.
Hey, there we go. That's an old one, isn't it? You often wonder where these people disappeared to, and whether or not they have an afterlife in the music industry or become a producer or alike. So very much welcome to the open case, where we're going to be talking about family law. I'm going to talk about something else very briefly before I start talking about family law. This is completely unscripted. I've not prepared for this. The reason being, I want to talk off the cuff, so to speak, about family law, and it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I get it. However, I believe in strategy, which is so important in law and also family law specifically, because it's so emotive.
Do you want to talk about family law? Join Bradders on Dreamcatcher Radio every Saturday, 12 till 2. Discussing what he believes is the most important matter in family law is strategy.
As that lovely lady just said, it's about strategy. Now, family law, I believe, is an unnecessary disease in some respects. And it's perpetrated by bad actors, largely. Now, what I will say, by bad actors, what I mean is people that just want to one-upmanship themselves on a big scale as well. I will say and each other. And it's horrible to witness, personally, and it saddens me quite a lot. Because if only people can talk to one another in the normal sense of the way, but the problem is people become very, very unreasonable, and when it gets to that stage and people commit themselves, you're in it. You know, as someone said to me, it's like World War III, and you don't want to be in that situation, and you want at all costs to avoid court. But by the same token, court may provide a resolution to bring something to an end. What I find in family court specifically, quite often people are at each other's throats. I mean, it's like venom. And they build these sort of teams around themselves of, oh, my family think you're crap and rubbish and I should never have been with you in the first place. And so they come up with this in their head. And then they build a community around them to have belief. And then that gives them even more empowerment to believe in their message, which they just constructed themselves. Because I often find in family court, and it was a great question that I heard years ago by a High Court judge. And he said to the couple, surely you must have loved each other at one stage. And that was very telling. And I've used that a lot. Because how can you have so much venom for somebody that you once love? And then suddenly it's a completely different story. I mean, the stuff that I hear in family court, you just can't write this stuff, albeit they do. Here we go. Fantasy, Mariah Carey.
The old school sounds.
Dreamcatcher Radio.
So there you go, a bit of Mariah Carey. So we were just referring to World War III. And that's not a throwaway line, by the way. It is warfare most times when you're in family court. I just wish most people realise the outcome in family court is effectively that ends up being some form of compromise where, there may not necessarily be winners or losers. Sorry, I've got a sore throat. Winners or losers. But what I find is that when it comes to the end of a family court case, is that people come to the point of realization, and the insanity that goes on in family court, not all the time, but a large proportion of the time, is surreal. You could make TV shows on the back of this. This is one of the reasons why I believe that family courts should not be open courts where everybody gets to see the closet. Because it's not fair on the family unit, because it's destructive what goes on in family court. And I know a lot of people online talk about corruption, that sort of stuff. We're going to talk about that a bit. But today, specifically, what I'm going to talk about is issues where parents separate and the children are used as a tool. They call it parental alienation, which come from America, which I think is a very good word to use, because trust me, kids are used as leverage. Money is used as leverage. Photos are used as leverage. Videos are used as leverage, which is extremely not right or proper or decent. However, boy, if you got a scorned person to go up against, then you're in for a massive fight. And we're going to talk about that sort of stuff today. Again, it's strategy. Because what happens in a lot of family court cases, it gets kicked into the long grass. Sorry, I've got a real throat problem. I'm just going to have to go to a song set.
yesterday. But too many storms have come and gone, leaving a trace of not one God-given ray. Is it because my life is 10 shades of gray? I pray all 10 fade away, seldom praise him for the 7 days. And like his promise is true, only my faith can undo the many chances I blew to bring my life to an end. Clear blue and unconditional skies have dried the tears from my eyes. No more lonely cries. My only leading hope is for the folk who can't cope with such an enduring pain that it keeps them in the pouring rain. Who's to blame for tooting gain into your own vein? What a shame you shoot and aim for someone else's brain. You claim the insane and aim to stay in time for falling prey to crime. I say the system got you victim to your own mind. Dreams are hopeless aspirations and hopes are coming true. Believe in yourself, the rest is up to me and you.
Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to. I know that you're gonna have it your way or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast. Oh, you're moving too fast. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Please stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to.
Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls, also from the 90s. Now, rabbit hole. We've all heard the expression of don't go down the rabbit hole. Unfortunately, if you're facing family court issues, you do go down the rabbit hole. And if you dare to go on the internet or Facebook groups, boy, are you exposing yourself to many, many problems. And the fact is, I'm not one to say, look, don't do it. But what I believe the focus should be on is strategy and literally try and become a machine. And do you know in court, a solicitor, if they end up in court themselves, it's advised, it's kind of ironic in some respects, you're probably the worst solicitor ever if you represent yourself. That's very, very telling. The same application, I imagine, applies to KCs or barristers. So there's a theme here. You know, the court is not a fun venue to be in. Avoid it at all costs. But my philosophy is I don't mind going to court as long as it achieves the goal. So you prepare to go to court. What happens is a lot of people mess up their court cases. Now, I'm going to give you an example. Actually, do you know what? I'm going to play you something. This is a bit of humour. Someone that I actually quite like. And I'll go back to my discussion. Not because, it's only because I just want to show you how things can go so wrong in relationships. And this is comedy. And this is from Jubal, who's a radio host, which I actually really, really like. Sadly, he got sacked quite a few times from his various stations. But anyway, I want to play this to you. It's 10 minutes long, just to pre-warn you. Let me just try and load it up. Where, for me, it baffles me why people do this sort of stuff. But have a listen. I'm just going to play it now for you here on Dreamcatcher Radio. I've got so much to talk about.
It's been a week.
Seriously.
This is day 4 of us trying to get this guy Matt on the phone. So producer Brad sent the email saying that we're going to check in with him and Taylor. And Taylor, you're there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Taylor's there. Samantha, you're there.
Yep.
Okay. And producer Brad sent the email. Seems all good.
Yeah, I heard back everything.
Okay.
All good to go.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we're about to call him and do a cute little check-in to see how things are going, and then let you talk to him for a little bit, Taylor. And then I think it should go like, Taylor, you can bring on Samantha whenever you feel like, and then you guys can
do whatever you want. Go at him.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready? How do you feel?
I feel I'm ready to just let him have it. Like, I have all this energy, and like I've been, haven't been able to tell him about it. So like I'm ready to just like hear what he has to say and just.
He is going to be shook.
I'm dying to hear what he has to say too, because it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah. I mean, this dude has been cheating on his wife for 5 years with his girlfriend of 3 years. He's told them he's a different place. He's in Tucson. We know all that. And he's about to find out that both of them know everything. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to play a song, come back, and make our call. And you're To Catch a Cheater next. Right in the middle of To Catch a Cheater. And if you're just joining us, this has been a 4-day long thing of us trying to get this guy, Matt, on the phone. Because we did a To Catch a Cheater with Taylor, his girlfriend of 3 years. They just moved in together 6 months ago the other day. And seemed like everything was fine. Right after we hung up with Taylor, Samantha called in, and Samantha is the dude's wife. She's like, I recognize that voice. That's my husband of 5 years. We got the two of them on the phone. They compared notes, and it is that guy. And yesterday we tried to call him with both of them, and he told his wife that he's in California, in San Diego, and he told Taylor that he's in New York. But we called, and he left his phone at a Jamba Juice in Arizona.
Like what?
Out of all the places to get caught.
And so he's in Tucson, Arizona right now. But we told him today we wanted to get him back on the phone so we could do a check-in and a little update with him and Taylor because it was so cute.
So cute.
Yeah. So first, when we call him Taylor, we'll just play it off like it's the little update thing. And then you can bring on Samantha whenever you want. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
find
You
out what
ready?
he's doing.
You guys ready?
Ready? Yeah.
Here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Matt. What's up?
Hi, Matt.
Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for getting back on the phone with us, man.
Yeah, sure thing.
So you haven't listened back to the To Catch a Cheater that we did with you from the other day or anything like that?
No.
Did you
No.
hear
No,
that?
I've been busy.
Yeah, well, we've gotten
Interesting.
so many people that were like, that was so cute. And every once in a while we check in and get people back on the phone. So Taylor is on the phone too. I know you're out of town, but Taylor's on the phone.
Okay. Yeah,
Hi,
cool.
Matt.
Hey, Tay. How's it
Hi,
going?
Matt. Oh, it's been interesting without you here.
Yeah, we wanted to get you both on the phone so you could just get a little update on how things have been since that To Catch a Cheater.
Yeah.
Matt, how have things been for you since that To Catch a Cheater?
I feel so much better. I feel like we got a lot closer over all of that. So,
Yeah.
So you feel like things are just like open and honest and all of that?
yeah, like I feel like it built trust, and I'm so glad we did that, babe.
Yeah, babe. So glad.
And yeah, like I've been out of town on this work trip thing, and babe, I'm just really ready to get home and see you. So,
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
you're on this
can't
work
wait.
trip. And, I am very excited for you to be back, and I can't wait. But I also would really
Yeah.
like to know why you're in Tucson.
Tucson, what do you mean? Not
You told
Tucson.
me you were in New York.
Yeah, I'm not in Tucson, babe. I'm in New York, just like I told you.
Well, the Jamba
That's
Juice
random.
person from yesterday who answered your phone that you left in Tucson must have been very confused about what subway stop they're off of then.
Wait, what?
Yeah, and
What?
also while you're in Tucson, I made a new friendship. In fact, I feel like you might actually know her.
Okay. What are you getting at, babe?
Hi, honey.
Do you recognize that voice?
I hope you're having do you recognize my new friend Samantha? Your wife of 5 years voice. Hopefully you can recognize her on the
Hey.
phone.
like, what the is going on, guys?
What are you doing in Tucson? Why are you in Tucson?
What do you? I'm not in Tucson. Like, what are you guys
answer.
talking about?
What are you doing? What are you doing in Tucson? Yeah, why? Why the are you there? You cut out here in California.
What do you mean?
told
I'm
me
not
you're
in Tucson.
You told me girlfriend. You call her wife.
Sam, I don't even really know who this Taylor is.
What?
Like,
Oh my gosh! Are you serious?
yeah.
Matt, I literally heard the To Catch a Cheater that you did the first day. That's why I called in, because I recognized you. So yeah, you know her. You can't lie to my face like
No,
that.
I mean, not really.
You were on the To Catch a Cheater talking about how much you loved her and everything else, and that's how your wife heard it.
You just
Yeah, I literally
said you feel closer to
Yeah.
Taylor, like minutes ago.
Matt, you're caught.
Oh my god.
I mean, I guess nowadays all you have to be is accused, and like no proof needed for anything.
Are you
It's just crazy.
lying? Oh my god, this is exactly what you do. What the are you doing in Tucson, Matt? You still haven't answered the question.
Like, how do you guys even know I'm in Tucson anyway?
What?
Like, what
How
is?
does that even matter right now? You're so
Wow.
hot, dude.
Unbelievable.
No, I said, how
Matt.
did they?
Your time's up, Matt. We literally called your phone, and a Jamba Juice employee answered and said they were in Tucson, Arizona. So you can't sit there and lie like that. You're in Tucson. Just admit it.
Okay, I'm in Tucson. Okay.
Yeah.
We know.
Oh my God. Why are you in Tucson?
Why are you there?
Why did you lie about that?
I'm just okay. This is a little detour.
No. You answer. You're stalling. You're stalling to make up a lie. Answer now. Why are you in Tucson?
Okay. Yes, I'm in Tucson, and I have been cheating on you. Very sorry.
Well, we know that.
Yes, and I've
You're not sorry.
been talking to someone out here.
What?
What?
Yeah, but it means it literally means nothing. Like,
Oh my
just
gosh.
Everything that comes out of your mouth.
Oh my gosh.
Does she think you live with her too?
Yes. Been living with her for about a year.
What?
What? Are Oh you my serious? God.
I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this is insane.
Matt,
Like
you
I
have
said,
any children I don't know about.
No kids.
I don't believe you at this point. I don't believe a single thing you said.
Does Tucson know that you're married and have a girlfriend also?
No, like I don't want to talk about that right now. It's not important.
Well, you know what we are going to talk about is you can just stay in Tucson because you will not have anything at my place if you try to come back. It's gone.
What?
Yeah.
No, don't throw my stuff out.
All of your is on the lawn. Okay? So don't ring the
No,
doorbell.
don't put it all out
Change
there.
the lock. No, I'm getting a divorce from you. You're unreal. You wasted the last 10 years of my life. I will never forgive you for this. We can't work it out. You're on the lawn.
Come on, Samantha.
No, you've embarrassed me. You've embarrassed me.
If you throw my stuff out on the lawn, like for real, like I will get a lawyer. I'm not playing that.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'd like to see you try. I literally have this entire recording of evidence against you that you're a serial cheater that probably has children all over the country. And yeah, I'd like to see you try. I'd like to see you try. What money are you going to use to hire a lawyer with without mine? Like, you.
You know what? I'm going to go. And thank you guys for completely up my life. Appreciate it.
Us?
Oh my God. We did?
Our bad.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He's gone. Hey, Samantha and Taylor, he hung up. I'm so sorry we messed up his life like that.
Oh my gosh, I can't. The nerve.
I mean, that's crazy.
He's the victim. He's
Yeah.
always the victim.
I think we should
Wow.
go apologize and we'll fly to Tucson and see his face.
I want to find out who it is in Tucson.
I
so
was
they
going to
know.
say, yeah.
See what other cities he's penetrated.
I wonder if she'll ever know. Like, I want to warn her.
I would do the due diligence and find her, honestly. You want to really see your life blow up? This is your fault, bro.
Taylor, I want to say that this is like just a terrible circumstance, but I'm sorry this happened to you too. And I'm sorry that he did that to you while having a wife. And maybe, I need to hire a lawyer now, but maybe we can get drinks and figure out how to further take him down.
I'm also super sorry that happened to you and that I'm the other woman. But if you need a witness on that stand, you know who to call also.
Oh, man. Well, at least we finally got the truth.
Thank you.
I'm pretty good at cyber stalking, so if you need me, I'm right here, okay?
Thank you. I'm just like relieved that it's like all out in the open now, and like there's other people, and he can't like make me think I'm.
Yeah, you're
like,
not crazy.
Usually, it's like makes me think I'm crazy, and I know now I know, and yeah, I'm not wasting any more time on this guy.
Good.
I will actually take you up on that cyber stalking thing, and we will save you a seat at that.
Now, there's a reason why I played that. It's like really, really funny from the outside, but there's an important message in that, in what went on there. Just look at how that man reacted. Initially, his reaction was, I don't know who the other third party was, yet he was talking to that third party. And then that man diverts his mind, because he's trying to think on his feet, is blame others, right? And just look at the mentality, and this is how things go very, very wrong. Now, these women look very or sound very calm and collective, but they're going to court, they're going to divorce. America is probably the most litigious nation in the world. They sue for everything. You don't get the mail on time, they'll sue you. The milk's out of date, they'll sue you. It literally, it's just unbelievable. You have a slight fall, they'll sue you. But but this is what I'm saying is that you think about this logically, yeah. You've got two women and a third woman now that is involved, and there possibly could be more. But that man has created that chaos, and he's married. Now, infidelity happens a lot, and I don't really understand it to any great extent. But this guy seems to... I don't even know how you could even do it, to be honest, to that extent. Like, have 3 women in your life. I mean, beyond me. So blaming others is because the way I see it is you know he says he's going to get a lawyer due to his chattels going to be dumped on the lawn or are dumped on the lawn. Now that's ridiculous on its face anyway, but you know the first line of events, I'm going to get a lawyer, and I always find that really intriguing because you ought not to need lawyers and solicitors for dealing with domestic issues. And by what I mean by domestic issues is things that you ordinarily would have resolved yourself, and it just needs a sensible conversation. But what I find is, in family court specifically, a lot of other people get involved, which prior never would get involved in your life. Here we go. Bit of Britney Spears.
Did it again. I made you believe we're more than just friends. Oh baby, it might seem like a crush, but it doesn't mean that I'm serious. 'Cause to lose all my senses, that is just so typically me. Oh baby, I'm dreaming away, wishing that heroes they truly exist. I cry watching the days. Can't you see I'm a fool in so many ways? But to lose all my senses, that is just so typically me, baby. Oh, oops, I did it again. I played with your heart, got lost in the game. Oh baby, baby, oops, you think I'm in love, that I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent.
Brittany, before you go, there's something I want you to have.
Oh, it's beautiful. But wait a minute, isn't this...
Yeah, yes it is.
But I thought the old lady dropped it into the ocean in the end.
Well, baby, I went down and got it for you.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Oops, I did it again to your heart. Got lost in this game, oh baby. Oops, you think I'm sent from above. I'm not that innocent. Oops, I did it again. I played with your heart. Got lost in the
Wow, Britney Spears. She is quite an interesting character in herself, actually, in the career path in music and all the ups and downs that she's gone through and perhaps going through the when you're that famous. Now, going back to what I was previously saying, so I showed that it wasn't even a prank, it was to catch a cheater. And just look at the consequences of what is then going to happen thereafter. Now, they're saying there's no children involved, and so that's a good thing. But there's perhaps marital assets involved, which needs to get resolved. And then you get solicitors and lawyers, or attorneys, as they say in the United States. That's a rubbish accent. It wasn't even an attempt, actually, to be fair. But that just diminishes the wealth of each party. So if there's, the general consensus is it's 50-50. In the US, it's slightly different. It's a bit more contentious. In the UK, it's pretty much ideally 50-50. But we are in the UK adopting the US sort of consensus, which is, I find, really bizarre, considering the United States is built on English law. But I find that what the US do, United States that is, by the way, the US do is try and massively envelope things. I mean, their judgments are just ridiculous. They're just so egregious. It's not even funny. The numbers that they come out with, and the amount of people they send to prison for non-payment child maintenance because they just simply cannot afford it. It makes no sense to me. And I know I'm dodging around subject matters, but what I want you to understand is that I'm trying to create a theme of what you're going to be hearing later on down the line, because it's all very, very relevant. Now, bear in mind also, Dreamcatcher Radio is a new radio station. We are in our testing period at the moment. We are doing 24-hour broadcasting, and the shows that you are hearing are all new shows. However, we have identified a few problems, and we are getting fixed, but hopefully it doesn't affect your enjoyment and future listening. Very, very shortly, again, another issue which we're trying to resolve at the moment. You can listen to us on Alexa and also via your mobile phone. Watch this space. We've also got some events coming up which we're affiliated with. Again, watch this space. And then we've got Rock the Mic 2026, which we are heavily involved in. Again, watch this space. So we've got so much going on, and so just bear with us, and I'm going to carry on with our conversation.
Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas, leave your girl with her friends, cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping. Always say you got a girl, yeah, it's true, you got a man, but the party ain't gon' stop, so let's make it hot. Last weekend you stayed at home alone and lonely. Couldn't find your man, he was chilling with his homies. This weekend you're going out. If you try to stop you, you going off. You got your hair done and your nails done too. Out there in your finished shoes, you and your crew parlaying at the hottest spot tonight. You're gonna find the fellas rolling in the Lexus trucks and Hummers. So we say you got a girl, yeah, it's true, you got a man, but the party ain't gon' stop, so let's make it hot. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas, leave your girl with her friends, cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas, leave your girl with her friends, cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping. Always say you got a girl, yeah, it's true, you got a man, but the party ain't gon' stop, so let's make it hot. Call your boys, cause tonight you're not gon' stay at home. She tell your girl she ain't coming tonight, you going solo. Cut her off if she talks some noise, you know you got the right to get your party on. So get your hair cut and your car washed too, looking like a star in your Armani suit. You need to look your best, cause you're turning heads tonight. You're gonna find a sexy chica that's gonna dance all night if you wanna. Always say you got a girl, yeah, it's true, you got a man, but the party ain't gon' stop, so let's make it's 11:30 and your club is jumping, jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of bottles and their pockets full grown. And all your fellas leave your girl with a friend. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. Sexy women do their things while ladies work on their all the fellas down the club. We can get down now. Bounce, baby, bounce, 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 bounce. Twist, baby, shake, shake, shake. Twist, baby, twist, twist. You better dip that thing. Better dip that thing. Bounce, baby, bounce, bounce, bounce. Shake, baby, shake, shake, shake. Twist, baby, twist, twist. You better dip that thing. Dip that thing. Sexy women do their things while ladies work on their all the fellas down the club. We can get down now. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full of ballers. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full of ballers. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full of ballers. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. I ain't thinking about my man tonight.
I ain't worried about my girl, alright?
All you ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping. Ladies, leave your man at home. The club is full of ballers and their pockets full grown. And all you fellas leave your girl with her friends. 'Cause it's 11:30 and the club is jumping, jumping.
So that was Destiny's Child. Oops, I did it. No, it wasn't. It was Destiny's Child's Jumping, Jumping. Sorry, I apologise. So the reason why I played that cheaters thing is just to show you how things can get out of control. And I can demonstrate to you many cases where things get out of control. When lawyers get involved, and trust me on this, is that you will be shown the most empathy ever, right? As any normal person would do, or as I call it, business person would do. They are fee earners. They need to earn money from your case. They will perhaps, I think, would look to try and conclude your case as quick as possible. But I've seen many examples where, in fact, you are just a number. And I've got evidence of this, where things could move far faster. And also, solicitors are officers for the court. Now, what I find quite interesting about that scenario is that you're the customer, yet they've got a duty to the courts. Now, the Law Society in itself is very, very interesting, because it goes back centuries and how it was all formed, and they still maintain traditions, and it becomes very relevant because I look at it holistically, the bigger picture about, I'm one for always asking questions, and that's how I've learned about judges thinking and that sort of thing. I'm not a lawyer. I cannot give you legal advice. I can give you guidance. I assist people in court and often get rights of audience. But what I want people to be able to do is be a litigant person, because I think that cools it a little bit in terms of trying to get things resolved in the family courts. But that being said, when you've got a pit bull on the other side, it doesn't. You're probably going to need counsel. I've seen many barristers do very, very bad work. I remember once walking out of court. This was at the Chancery Division in London, which is the High Court. And I kid you not, he said to his client, "C'est la vie." I was absolutely gobsmacked. And I just thought, like, what? I've seen so much in family courts and how things can flip very, very quickly. And I've had many sad times and some amazing times, because often, even though, let's just use the word win, for me, I feel, as a father myself of two daughters, if I had to go through that experience, and I'm divorced, by the way, but thankfully, my children were or are of age where they can have their own thoughts and feelings for themselves. And my divorce was really, really simple. It's all very amicable. But on that point as well, that's actually a good point that I've just thought about. One of the questions that got asked of me recently: when can the thoughts and feelings as children be considered in court? Now, the fact is, it used to be teenagers, but my understanding is now it can be at the end, as low as the age of 7. So because they're pretty much, open-minded and that sort of stuff. And this is something else I want to talk about. I'm jumping about today. The only reason I'm jumping about today is because when we get our phoning system sorted, you can understand about all the things that I've got knowledge of and which I can share and hopefully help you on your journey if you end up in this unfortunate situation. So the thoughts and feelings of, God, my throat's going again. I really, really apologize.
On racks, make the DJs wanna play it. The front to the front, then the back to the back, then the hip to the hop, then the rap to the rap. Every single line on time, you admire. Stays in your brain like earth, wind, and
there you go. Again, I apologise. I've had a throat infection now since I can remember the day, actually, December the 16th, and it plays up a lot. Something else that often gets talked about, and again, listen, I'm jumping about various topics because I want you to know that these are things that we're going to be talking about over the coming months on Dreamcatcher Radio and the Open Case. Now, judging. Now, being a judge is not an easy life. However, they took the job on and ought to judge correctly according to the law. One thing that's really interesting is the application of law and how it is interpreted. I love the word reasonable. Now, what is reasonable to you may not be reasonable to another. And no one, I mean, it's not, just go and Google it, try and get the definition of reasonable. So there's a lot to be left to interpretation, and judges have a lot of discretion. So, for example, in my early path in legal land, I never knew that suddenly you could do what's called an on-foot application, which you can just walk into the court, no paperwork whatsoever, and do an on-foot verbalized application. And then it gets constructed there and then in court. It can also happen during hearings as well, which a lot of people don't know about. My preferred venue in the court system, if I'm perfectly honest, is the High Court. You get a better standard of judge. They are very, very clever. You may not get the result you want, but boy, will you get, in my opinion, a far better standard of judge, which will enable you to continue on thereafter to get the results you want. I remember once sitting in the High Court and the judge was organising the listing for the day. This was the applications court in the High Court, and there must have been at least 40 barristers or human beings in the room, all suited and booted. So I'm assuming the barristers are lawyers, and the judge, who are also, let me just say this as well, talk about reading time. That's an important subject we're going to next. Of judges. And he was saying, I've got this case, and I've read this case. That looks to me is going to take us 40 minutes. This to me looks like it's going to take half an hour. At the same time, he's asking the counsel, do you agree? And between them, they're agreeing, not agreeing, and then they're adjusting, that sort of thing. So on foot, he's then trying to establish how his docket is going to run for the day. And then, for example, my ex-wife, I used to love shopping. I used to love just sitting in court, watching court cases. So she would go shopping, I would go and just sit in court, and I was in my element, and I saw so much injustice, specifically at magistrates' court. At the High Court, it's quite technical, but I found it very, very interesting. So basically, this judge was basically organising his list for the morning, and then he'll have his hearings. So there will start, and it's so fascinating watching such skilled work to be done. I will say, and we are going to talk about this on Dreamcatcher Radio on future shows. I may even talk about it today, I'm not too sure, where people on social media complain about the corruption in the family court and judges. But we'll get to that hopefully today. If not, it will be next week. So the cases will start, and everybody presents their arguments, and the judge already at the get-go will have his proposition of what he thinks going on here, and obviously he's got clerks as well, and so he has a pre-prepared opinion, and it's down then to the barristers to present their arguments, and then effectively it will go back and forth, as in to try and maneuver the pre-proposition, which often happens. I assure you, it often happens. Quite often it ends up in new directions if a decision cannot be made. The overriding objective of the court is really to try and make a decision which is meaningful to either conclude a case or at least progress a case. Now, this is another thing I mentioned about reading time. And this is where I think the court fails, specifically at the family court, is enough reading time. And they will tell you they've read everything. The fact is, it's not true. It is not true. They've read bits and pieces and perhaps your position statement and alike. They're literally, I assure you, they are working as they're basically learning on as the case progresses, and they will jump to the recommendations from cafcass or social services, and they're heavily loaded towards that. And this is what is really important about your paperwork, is it needs to be succinct, direct, and very, very relevant. Here we go, Dr. Dre.
I'm about to lose my mind. You've been gone for so long. I'm running out of time. I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to bring me back to life.
I told the world one day I would pay it back. Say it on tape and lay it, record it so that one day I could play it back. But I don't even know if I believe it when I'm saying that. Y'all starting to creep in every day, it's just so gray and black. Oh, I just need a ray of that, cause no one sees my vision when I play it for them. They just say it's whack, but they don't know what dope is. And I don't know if I was awake or asleep when I wrote this. All I know is you came to me when I was at my lowest. You picked me up, breathed new life in me. I owe my life to you before the life of me. I don't see why you don't see like I do, but it just dawned on me you lost the sun. Demons fighting you, it's dark. Let me turn on the lights and brighten it and enlighten you. I don't think you realize what you mean to me, not the slightest clue. Cause me and you were like a crew. I was like your sidekick. You gon' either wanna fight when I get off this fucking mic, or you gon' hug me. But I'm out of options, there's nothing else I can do. Cause
You've been gone for so long. I'm running out of time. I need a doctor. Call me a doctor. I need a doctor to bring me back to life.
it hurts when I see you struggle. You come to me with ideas. You say they're just pieces, so I'm puzzled. Cause the shit I hear is crazy, but you're either getting lazy or you don't believe in you no more. Seems like your own opinion's not one you can form. Can't make a decision, you keep questioning yourself, second guessing, and it's almost like you're begging for my help. Like I'm your leader, you're supposed to fucking be my mentor. I can endure no more demand you remember who you are. It was you who believed in me when everyone was telling you don't sign me. Everyone at the fucking label, let's tell the truth. You risked your career for me, I know it as well as you. Nobody wanted to fuck with the white boy tramp crying in this booth. You saved my life, now maybe it's my turn to save yours. But I could never repay you, what you did for me is way more. But I ain't giving up faith, and you ain't giving up on me. Get up, Dre, I'm dying, I need you, come back for fuck's sake.
I'm about to lose my mind. You've been gone for so long. I'm running out of time. I need a doctor.
I think sorry about that. I was unaware of the profanity in that song. Let's play Zombie by the Cranberries. I'm I'm getting told off by the station manager. I apologise, folks. Love that song. Love that song. So I'm probably on the naughty step with Marcel at the moment. So we were talking about standard of judging, and my belief is the court system is not corrupt. Where I believe, my personal opinion, is where it gets very, very skewed and skullduggerous, if you like, is when judges listen to government policy or their officials. Because I think you could easily lose a case if someone in government has an opinion on your case. And judges get directed by that. I truly believe it. They would never admit it, but that's what I truly believe. Now, going back to standard of judges as well, what I find quite astonishing in some of the cases that I've been in, and it does make me laugh even to this day. So, for example, words like, I'm not in the mood for this today. Now, that seems to me that the judge has potentially got out of the wrong side of the bed. Now, judges are obviously human beings. However, one thing that I would aver, that they ought to basically maintain their strict rule of governance. But unfortunately, they don't. That's the whole reason why you've got appeal courts, and then you've got another level of appeal thereafter. The judges do make mistakes, and in legal land, it's called errors in law. So when you prepare your case, you prepare on the basis that the judge would err in law. Err as in ERR, the legal word is, which means error in law. So they made a mistake. So a mistake could be, for example, they didn't address this certain issue. They passed it, or didn't give it the level of merit it ought to have had. And conflict of interest is a big one as well, which I've seen quite a lot, which again come from the United States, where judges have done speeches and alike, which perhaps goes against what the temerity of your case is. And so when you're preparing your case for court, you always prepare for appeal, always. And that's the way that I look at preparing. So errors in law is very, very important, and it is. I mean, I don't like, for example, at a first hearing, quoting case law, especially if you're litigating a person as well. You're supposed to be a lay person and ought to get some form of relief from the court. The court will say that they do provide it, and they do genuinely do. They prefer informed litigants, and at the High Court, for example, at Chancery Division, they've got a service called CLIPS in the Applications Court. I don't know what CLIPS stands for, but you can just Google it. So CLIPS barristers, they're free of charge. These are barristers that will assist you with your application, rewrite it for you even, in fact, and represent you in court. Because it's part of barristers' training, because a lot of barristers don't get access to the High Court, and they want to be in the High Court. And so it's a free of charge service. Google it, it's CLIPS. At the High Court, the main High Court, which you normally see on TV. So the Chancery is like a very big glass building, which deals with property, bankruptcy, maritime law. And you've got the main one, which deals with general claims. There you have Citizens Advice Bureau, which, in all honesty, they're doing their best. But I wish barristers' service would be there in lieu of Citizens Advice Bureau staff, because they're really, it's they actually probably do you a favour where you're going to get sympathy from the judge rather than dealing with actual factual law. And whilst the courts appreciate them, but they're so inadequate to be in the High Court, and it's a shame. Because I remember once I was sitting outside the court. It was then Queen's Bench, and there was 4 staff there from Citizens Advice Bureau, and there's a massive long bench there which could easily seat 30, 40 people. And so I'm overhearing this while I'm waiting for the person that I'm assisting. I'm overhearing them talk to, let's just say, client, the person they're helping. And I'm listening to them. I could clearly know they do not have a clue what they're doing. And so I introduced myself and said, look, do you need some help? Now, my help was thinking, I'll help you with the paperwork and what to say. And in the end, I ended up doing the application for them in court. And you can do that as a Mackenzie friend. And the judges, I'm well known to the judge, or no, judges. There's a big circuit, so no, I'm not well known to everybody. But the ushers generally are consistent. So I just said, look, I'll help out in this hearing. And it went really, really well. But I really felt sorry for the person they were trying to help, and also for the people who are volunteers for Citizen Advice Bureau, because they were trying to wing it. And I don't know how it's come about that CAB are in the High Court. I'm not too sure if they still are. But I'm sure the courts ought to do better to help people in the High Courts who are litigants in persons. I'm going to play a couple more songs now, and then we're going to talk about social services, cafcass, and like I say, today is just getting you guys to understand what we're going to be talking about in the future. So I'm jumping around in order to not give you solutions or answers today, but to get you to feel your feet about what my show is going to be about. Is strategy, strategy, strategy.
Battered, I couldn't tell what I felt. I was unrecognizable to myself. I saw my reflection in a window and didn't know my own face. Oh brother, are you gonna leave me wasting away on the streets of Philadelphia? Till my legs felt like stone. I heard the voices of friends vanished and gone. At night I could hear the blood in my veins, just as black and whispering as the rain on the streets of Philadelphia. Ain't no angel gonna greet me. It's just you and I, my friend. And my clothes don't fit me no more. I walk 1,000 miles just to slip this skin. The night is falling, I'm lying awake, I can feel myself fading away. So receive me, brother, with your faithless kiss, or will we leave each other alone like this on the streets of Philadelphia?
Tell me something, girl. Are you happy in this modern world? Or do you need more? Is there something else you're searching for? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself.
Tell me something, boy. Aren't you tired trying to fill that void? Or do you need more? Ain't it hard keeping it so hardcore? I'm falling. In all the good times I find myself longing for change, and in the bad times I fear myself. I'm of the deep end, watch as I dive in. I'll never meet the ground. Crash through the surface where they can't hurt us. We're far from the shallow now. In the shallow, in the shallow. Shallow, we're far from the shallow now. Oh, oh,
There used to dark side of me. Love remains a drug that's the high and not the pill. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. There is so much a man can tell you, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. Baby, to me you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. There is so much a man can tell me, so much he can say. You remain my power, my pleasure, my pain. To me you're like a grown addiction that I can't deny. Now won't you tell me, is that healthy, baby? But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become large and the light that you shine can't be seen? Baby, I can feel you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. Yes, I can pay you to a kiss from a rose on the grave. Ooh, the more I get of you, the stranger it feels, yeah. And now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave. Now that your rose is in bloom, a light hits the gloom on the grave.
So that was Kiss from a Rose from Seal. Now we're talking about the belief that judges are corrupt. And in the family court system, I do not buy into that belief. I think they have a very difficult job, but then again, they signed up to it. I think where I believe, okay, let me just buy into a bit of conspiracy, right? And it just tell you where I think things that just doesn't sit well with me whatsoever. So, for example, you want to appeal in court. Now, no judge wants an appeal. They don't. But I've had judges, I've heard judges say this as well. that if you don't like my judgment, just appeal. Now that is arrogant in some respects, but then again, you could say that perhaps that's the judge trying to say, look, I've had enough today and I've made my decision and you ain't going to change it. But one thing that I find really, really intriguing, and I don't understand how this is allowed, and I strongly disagree with this, is if you order a court transcript in order for your appeal, the judge gets the opportunity to amend the transcript before it gets released. And I kid you not, I've seen this happen a number of times. So I remember a court case once where the judge's argument in his order, and this is about latching on to what you call holdings, so things that are very relevant. In his order and his summarizing of judgment, he said the other side, I'm not going to mention the name, are clearly not here for fun. Therefore, my order is X. Now, just think about that phrase. They are not here for fun, so my order is this. So his weight was not on their argument, is on the fact that they were present. And surely they ought have not gone to all these efforts if they didn't have a valid court case. Now, when we applied for the transcript, that was missing from the transcript. And I'll tell you what, try and get a proper clean copy of that transcript was impossible. In fact, it was completely deleted. But thankfully, there was a number of witnesses in the court that heard the same thing that I heard. But this is where you would say that that is a level of corruption, because the judge ought not to have said that, and that should not be part of his or her reasonings. Now, the one thing I found really interesting, and this is where the judiciary and the Law Society is a very, very protected society. So you've got judges judging, you've got lawyers, barristers, attorneys advocating, QCs, well, not QCs in the UK, KCs, and then you've got other people judging them on the appeal process. So it's quite a quagmire, really, isn't it? Because how do you trust a system where there's an immediate conflict of interest, one would assume? Because if you've got judges paid on the same payroll judging other people's judgments, there surely must be a conflict of interest. Now, it is a system we have to operate in, and you just have to accept it. But I think it's a very, very big question of how judges can judge one another. But one thing I do know is judges don't like having appeals against their name. It looks bad on their record, which is a very low standard to set, in my opinion, that that they just end up with an appeal and they feel a bit sad that they're basically not going to be able to progress on their career ladder should they want to progress. Now, something I saw recently in America, and it was fascinating, because with the invention of technology, the court system and the criminal law, for example, has not caught up by any stretch of the imagination. There's so many laws which ought to be in place, which are not happening. Now, I saw an interesting case in America, and it made me like, I would so loved if this case continued. And it was in the court, and it was via video link. And the gentleman advocating for himself had, like I say, I so wish this would have continued, had a computer AI lawyer. And this is the future, actually. I can see it happening. I can imagine judges being AI as well soon as well. So he introduces, that's my advocate friend, or I think they call it a next friend in America, not Mackenzie friend like in the UK. And Mackenzie friend comes from a court case, Mackenzie v. Mackenzie, which is actually a family court case as well. And so he introduces this person who actually does look human-like and was talking to the judge at the right time as well. And the the person was asking, saying loaded things about like, I respect the court and all this sort of thing. Just find it on YouTube or something like that. A man uses AI to represent him in court. The guy, the AI was doing really well. And the barrister, the judge asked the gentleman, who is this? Is this your solicitor? So obviously she didn't cock on to the fact that this was a computer. And he said, no, it's my AI or something like that. Words to that effect. And she was having none of it and cut him off, or cut the computer off. I would have loved to have seen how that court case turned out. But it's the future. Just think about it. Just it makes perfect sense to me. And so a lot of people nowadays are using AI for their wording and that sort of thing. Now, I don't agree with that. But then again, solicitors use a lot of cut and paste, I assure you, specifically in regards to things like non-molestation orders. They literally, verbatim cut and paste. I see it over and over again. So lazy sometimes. And in family law specifically as well, non-molestation orders are used as a precursor to what hell is coming your way, because obviously they're free for a woman in your relationship.
I tried to talk to my guitar, talk to my imagination, confided into alcohol. I tried and tried and tried some more, told secrets till my voice was sore. Tired of empty conversation, 'cause no one hears me anymore. 100 million stories and 100 million songs. I feel stupid when I sing. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's listening. I talk to shooting stars, but they always get it wrong. I feel stupid when I pray. So why am I praying anyway? If nobody's listening, anyone, please send me anyone. Lord, is there anyone? I need someone. Oh, anyone, please send me anyone. Lord, is there anyone? I need someone. I used to crave the world's attention. I think I cried too many times. I just need some more affection. Anything to get me by. 100 million stories and 100 million songs. I feel stupid when I sing. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's listening. I talk to shooting stars, but they always get it wrong. I feel stupid when I pray. Why the fuck am I praying anyway? If nobody's listening, anyone, please send me anyone. Lord, is there anyone?
stories in 100 million songs. I feel stupid when I sing. Nobody's listening to me. Nobody's listening.
So we were talking about non-molestation orders. Now, people will hate on me for this. The my French out. Non-molestation orders are sadly very easy to get, and they are a great tool in your armory if you want to get legal aid in a family court case, and it's a precursor that is used by solicitors. They will deny it, but I'm more than happy to tell you it's true. That way it triggers help from legal aid. So mums basically get a solicitor who will pretty much do whatever they can to disrupt the family unit. Mediation, is basically letters to them. I feel that the best advocates are the actual parents themselves in family law, where I just wish they could sit down together. But what happens is the engine gets running, and it really does sadden me that people just will not talk with one another and think the best way is to fight it in the court. If you have to, you have to. But I'm a strong believer that most of these cases ought not to be in court. But also, I don't think even mediation helps that much. Because if you've been part of mediation, what happens is that you're not talking together. So you're relying on that third party. So in effect, if you're doing mediation over the phone, which is generally how it's done, you would basically say your position. They would say, "I'll come back to you shortly." Then they would reinterpret your position, and then they give the response back. Now that is really not helpful because there's no emotion in it. It's literally, I believe, is still anger. And if he's saying that, they're not hearing it from the person themselves. And I believe that's where the best advocacy can be done, specifically outside court as well, where people, can calm down, lower the energy, and and hopefully come to a conclusion. I will say this, is that there are things that must go to court. Must. There's so much domestic violence in the UK, it's horrific. And around the world as well, by the same token. And there's, it's largely men, I will say. The statistics are there on the web. So me talking about these sort of issues doesn't mean I'm dismissing what goes on. But what I will say is that when people separate, let's call it a scorned woman, children are used as a tool far too often. And in legal land here in the UK, it can be dragged out for a very long time, especially, unfortunately, when you go as a dad on the web and look at activist sites like Fathers for Justice, because trust me, things can go very, very wrong very quickly. And it takes a long time to repair those situations, to get belief in the system that actually you're not this person, you inadvertently went down the wrong path, going down the rabbit hole, and the like. I mean, I changed. I'm not proud of this, by the way. I remember a court case up north where the woman, young woman, she had a child taken from her by social services, and she was pregnant with another child. And the social services wrote scathing reports about this mum. And so I looked at the sort of things that she was corresponding with social services, and I said, look, you need a change, and you need a change quickly. It's going to take you a few months. And I said, this is how you do it. And so any messages that she corresponded with, she changed the way she lived. The house looked impeccably tidy. The type of conversations was totally different. It was alien to social services thereafter. And social services said, wow, you've had a massive change, haven't you? So I was setting the foundation, but unbeknown to me, that social services were right. And they called it distortions, and they were right. And so I staged this woman in order to get her child back. And they were on the verge of basically returning the child to her. Thankfully, they never did. Because she messed up and showed her true colours. It's a sad story, but just shows what can happen. Now, what I will say, on Dreamcatcher Radio, we've got many presenters. And we have one called Kerry, who has actually done some interviews on Dreamcatcher Radio, and I can now talk about this. And it's a very sad story. She recently lost her mum, which was her best friend. And it's very, very sad. And she's going through an emotional time at the moment. So this is a song for you, Kerry, and hopefully she joins us on Dreamcatcher Radio soon.
The sun will be shining, 'cause I feel that when I'm with you, it's alright. I know it's right. And the songbirds keep singing like they know the score, and I love you, I love you, I love you like never before.
So that is for Kerry, who is sorry, excuse me, who's a dear friend of mine, and I've met her mum only once, but I've talked to her quite a few times on the phone, and I'm wishing Kerry the very best. And yeah. Now, going back to legal land, as I said, just bear in mind, right, I've gone through quite a lot of different things today, only basically because I just want to explain about all the different facets of what goes on in family law. We've not even talked about how you basically make an application, what you should say, what you ought not to say. More importantly, in court, is what you ought not to say. And that's the same in paperwork, because it's extremely important, is what you ought not to say. It really is. It really is. The amount of cases that I've just sat in court and I just said to the person that I'm helping, just say nothing until I say, just talk about that. Or if you get rights of audience, which I often do, especially in regular courts that I used to go to, the judges used to find it helpful that for me to talk, just to help the progress of the hearing. Now, in terms of paperwork, there's so many things we can talk about, like applications, position statements, witness statements, and the like, and we're definitely going to cover that in the future. Now, what I will say, just to give some benefit to the audience at this juncture, is what's important is that you need to prepare. You need to basically realize that what you thought was normal is no longer going to be normal in your life. That means the way you send text messages to your partner, the way you engage with, if there is children involved, with your children, because everything will be used against you, I assure you. Late night text messages do not help. Do not do that. Avoid them like the plague, because you will be accused of being on drink or drugs or whatever that they could possibly throw at you. So, unfortunately, messages should be on business hours only. And if there's children involved in your court case, is it just to double check on how is such and such. However, unfortunately, you can't ask that constantly. If you don't get a response, you just follow on the following day. You know, I'm sad that I didn't get a response from my message yesterday. I assume you were busy. So you need to be very polite and cordial, because this is all evidence that your focus is on your previous child arrangement. And it can flip like anything, and God forbid you start a new relationship, man, you will notice a difference. So whatever you do, do not go posting on socials or talking about a new relationship whilst you're going through these issues. It's not helpful. It's not good. So stay away from things like that. There's so many tips that I can share, and I will share with you, I assure you, over the coming months, especially accessing the courts as well. And because there's long delays in the court, but there is a way where you could move quicker. And it's not cheating the system, it's their own system. But there is a way where you could move things quicker to progress your case. Moreover, going back to what I said, is about the way that you present yourself. Because as soon as, for example, child contact gets stopped, that's probably a very, well, no, it is for sure, a hairy period for you. And you know, I've seen dads, sadly, and this is not a dad show, by the way, but this is just talking about, I mean, dads get the harsh end of stuff in family law, that's for sure. Is that they get angry, get upset, they start drinking, doing drugs, or doing more drugs than they used to do. And then it all comes out, and then other people start getting involved. And then the woman has then significant evidence of harassment and good cause for a non-molestation order and concern for safety of her and also not only the children. I'm running out of time. I can't believe it's gone so quickly. I've got a meeting to go to as well shortly. I just want to play this from Tupac. Tupac is an amazing artist who sadly was his life ended shortly, but he actually felt that his life was going to end short because of the environment he's in. It's got nothing to do with family law, but I just like this song.
You remember me when the west wind moves among the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walked in fields of gold. So she took her love for
I was addicted to the dark side. Somewhere inside my childhood when it's my heart died. And even though we both came from the same places, the money and the fame made us all change places. How could it be through the misery that came to pass? The hard times make a true friend afraid to ask for currency, but you can run to me when you need, and I'll never leave. Honestly, someone to believe in. As you can see, it's a small thing to a truth. What could I do? Real homies help you get through. And coming new, he do the same thing if he could. Cause in the hood, true homies make you feel good. And half the times we be acting up, call the cops, bringing a cease to the peace that was on my block. It never stops when my mama asks me, will I change? I tell her, yeah, but it's clear I'll always be the same until the end of time.
These broken wings, I need your hands to come and heal me once again.
Until the end of time.
Till the end of time. Till the end of time. Till the end of
Please Lord forgive me for my life of sin. My heart stares seem to scare all my sister's kids. So you know I don't hang around the house much. This all night money making got me out of touch. Shit, ain't flashed a smile in a long while. An unexpected birth, worse of the ghetto childs. My attitude got me walking solo, right out alone in my Lolo, watching the whole world move in slow-mo. For quiet times disappear, listen to the ocean. Smoking ports, think my thoughts, then it's back to coasting. Who can I trust in this cold world? My phony homie had a baby by my old girl, but I ain't tripping, I'm a player, I ain't sweating him. My sexy sister had a mummy like a Mexican. His Mexican, no remorse, it was meant to happen. Besides rapping, only thing I did good was scrapping until the end of time.
these broken wings,